What's being released in October? Stay tuned and find out. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zach with Zacks Books, and today I have got for you October releases. Welcome back to Zoctober. We're on day 2 or 3, depending on when this video will go up. But today I've got for you my releases for the month of October that I'm excited about. So I have got 10 of them for you, and we will have these linked down below if you're intrigued with any of them. Obviously they're not going to be out yet, but they will be at some point in October, and if they sound interesting to you, make sure you check them out. Otherwise, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get to the books. Alright, the first one I'm going to talk about is Cackle by Rachel Harrison, being released October 5th. And again, if you have seen my release videos, I will break out the phone to talk about a little bit of the book. So, this is a darkly funny, frightening novel about a young woman learning how to take what she wants from a witch who may be too good to be true, from the author of The Return. So, for those of you who watched the video, it was last month where I said, I think it was a video that Danielle and I both did. It was pick 2 books that I read and one that I didn't, but it was kind of like 2 truths and a lie, like figure out which book I read and which one I didn't. The book that I actually did read from that list was The Return by Rachel Harrison. So the one in that list that I did not read was The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. So, but yeah, just fun little fact, because I don't think I actually said the winner. Well, I mean, there was no winner, but I didn't actually say the answer to that question. But yeah, this book sounds really intriguing to me. Like I said, I have read The Return by her, and I think Danielle and I both gave it 4 stars, 4.5 stars or something like that. It was a really solid book. And this does sound really interesting, and I can't wait to really get to it. So there you have Cackle by Rachel Harrison, being released October 5th. Next book on the list is The Last Guest by Tess Little, also being released October 5th. And again, here's a little description. A glamorous birthday dinner in the Hollywood Hills ends with the famous host dead and every guest under suspicion in this dark cinematic suspense debut novel of Tess Little. Obviously, with it being a debut novel, I've never read anything from this author. But with that description, I kind of get some Clue vibes, like One by One by Ruth Ware, like a whodunit kind of thing. Don't know what to expect from Tess Little, but hopefully it's going to be a good one. So there you have The Last Guest by Tess Little, being released October 5th. Alright, another book being released October 5th is The Neighbor's Secret by L. Allison Heller. The description on this is as follows. When late-night acts of vandalism target the women of the book club in increasingly violent and personal ways, they will be forced to decide how far to go to keep their secrets. At least they will all agree on what's most important. Protecting their children at any cost, even if it means someone has to die. I've never read anything from this author, and the last book club book that was involved within a book was the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. That I gave 5 stars. Obviously, I don't think there's going to be vampires involved in this book, but that last line, most important, protecting their children at any cost, even if it means someone has to die, that sounds pretty awesome to me. And again, a new author for me. I will have to definitely check this book out, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, there you have The Neighbor's Secrets by L. Allison Heller, released October 5th. Alright, now it's time for a book that's not being released October 5th, and that is No One Will Miss Her by Kat Rosenfield, released October 12th. This one is as follows. A smart, witty, crackling novel of psychological suspense in which a girl from a hardscrabble small town meets a gorgeous Instagram influencer from the big city, with a murderous twist that will shock even the most savvy reader. It's pretty much is just a small town murder is pretty much what's going to happen here. So I'm very excited to get to this book. This is an author I've not read before either. This is kind of a trend. With most of these books are newer authors for me. I don't really have much to really go off of. But yeah, this one sounds interesting. I will definitely need to check it out, and that is No One Will Miss Her by Kat Rosenfield, released on October 12th. Alright, the next book is another one being released October 12th, and that is The Mother Next Door by Tara Laskowski. The description is as follows. Good mothers never show their feelings, never spill their secrets, never admit to murder. From award-winning author Tara Laskowski, The Mother Next Door is an atmospheric novel of domestic suspense in which the strive for perfection ends in murder. I mean, what's not to like about that? Danielle's excited for this book. I'm excited for this book. It's a thriller. Probably could be her thriller pick of the month. But this sounds really exciting, and hopefully we get to it and I'm able to check it out this month. If not, it'll probably be a November read. So there you have The Mother Next Door by Tara Laskowski, released October 12th. Alright, the next book is Pearl by Josh Malerman, being released October 12th. This is actually a re-release. I don't remember when it was originally released, but also had a different title, which I also don't remember that. But I just know this is a re-release of this book. So let me read you a little bit about this. There's something strange about Walter Copley's farm. At first it seems to be his grandson who cruelly murders one of Walter's pigs in an act of seemingly senseless violence. But then the rumors begin. People in town whisper that Walter's grandson heard a voice that commanded him to kill. I mean, that sounds really interesting. The last animal book I really kind of read was Animal Farm, and that really didn't work for me. But in this one, there's a lot. It sounds like there's more murder involved, and I believe a pig is one of the main characters or something like that. So it sounds very intriguing to me, and it just sounds very weird, and I really can't wait to read this book. And I like a lot of things from Josh Malerman, but I am very excited to get to this book, and can't wait for it to come out. So there you have Pearl by Josh Malerman, being released October 12th. Alright, the next book is Truth or Dare by M.J. Arledge, being released October 19th. This one is a crime wave sweeps through the city and no one is safe. An arson at the docks, a carjacking gone wrong, a murder in a country park. What connects all these crimes without causes, which leave no clues. And when it becomes clear just how twisted and ingenious this web of crime is, D.I. Grace will realize that it may be impossible to stop it. I mean, that's keeping it rather vague. And obviously they say a lot of things that happen, but it's pretty vague as to what the reasoning is. And I usually like going into books kind of not knowing a whole lot about them, so that kind of works for me. So, and I've never read anything from M.J. Arledge before, so this will be a first book from this author as well. Again, this is the month of new authors, except for Josh Malerman and Rachel Harrison so far. So we'll see how this one goes, but it does sound pretty suspenseful and pretty weird. So we'll see how this one goes. There you have Truth or Dare by M.J. Arledge, being released October 19th. Alright, the next book up is Where They Wait by Scott Carson, being released October 26th. I do own another book by this author. It's called The Chill or something like that. Kind of gave me some Nick Cutter cover vibes, so figured I'd get that. I haven't read it yet, but I want to. But this one is a new supernatural novel about a sinister mindfulness app with fatal consequences. I mean, that sounds pretty intriguing. Stephen King has a blurb here. Where They Wait is so readable you'll be a couple of 100 pages in before you realize you're terrified, and then you can't put it down. Mesmerizing. So, obviously, Stephen King likes it. Bless you. Obviously, if Stephen King likes it, I gotta give it a chance, because obviously he's my all-time favorite author, and the book also just sounds really intriguing, especially when it was based around an app, because I know King wrote the book Cell. It's not one of the top ones, but he wrote a book about a phone in the early 2000s, and then, this is about an app that's kind of murderous, so we'll see how this one goes. Again, Scott Carson, I do have one book by him called The Chill. Haven't read it yet, but I would like to. But now we got another one coming out. So there you have Where They Wait by Scott Carson, being released October 26th. Next book up is These Silent Woods by Kimmy Cunningham Grant, being also released on October 26th. Let me read you about this book. A father and daughter living in the remote Appalachian Mountains must recon with the ghosts of their past. Vividly atmospheric and masterfully tense, These Silent Woods is a poignant story of survival, sacrifice, and how far a father will go when faced with losing it all. That sounds really intriguing to me. Again, this is a new author for me. I have not read anything from her, and it sounds really good. A father-daughter book. You know, kind of like Firestarter was father-daughter. Obviously, the daughter had like psychic powers and stuff like that by Stephen King. I don't think this girl will, but who knows? It sounds really intriguing, and I cannot wait to get to this. So there you have The Silent Woods by Kimmy Cunningham Grant, being released October 26th. The last book we're going to talk about is The Unheard by Nikki French, being released October 26th. Let me read you the little thing about this. A single mother suspects her young daughter has witnessed a horrible crime when the girl draws a disturbing picture. But the deadly path to unravel the truth could cost her everything. I mean, those are the kind of thrillers that really get me. Again, this is a new author for me. I've not read anything from her before, but she does have a good amount of books out. Just something that sounds good to me. A lot of these books sound really intriguing, and I can't wait to get to them. So there you have the last book, The Unheard by Nikki French, being released October 26th. Alright, so those are the releases for October that I'm most excited about. There's way more releases that are happening in the month of October, obviously. These are just the 10 that I think are going to intrigue me the most for this month. So, yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your releases are for the month of October that you're most excited for. And, yeah, again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow in the other episode of Zoctober. Later.